All right, if you're a parent battling through these school holidays, don't worry, you're already halfway there. Our next guest knows all too well the struggles of parenting, especially with teens. Psychiatrist, comedian and author Dr. Jo Prendergast joins us now for tips on surviving the last week of holidays. Jo, thanks for joining us. I guess the problem with teenagers is good, they can be left to their own devices. Bad, they're left to their own devices.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I've recently graduated from parenting teens myself. I think they'd probably give me about a C+ average in parenting. But yeah, so certainly know that, yes, when they're 5, you can kind of put them in their room, but when they're 15, they climb out the window. So there's different challenges.
Yeah, and at what point should you be worried about how quiet it is in their room, even if they're spending the whole school holidays in there?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends a lot on the teens. Some will be literally kind of studying for their final exams, and others will have climbed out the window kind of hours earlier. So a lot of it's kind of knowing your teenager as well, because there's not just one type of teenager. So I think, I mean, generally with school holidays, if you can kind of catch your young people at a time when they're in a good mood and work out a little bit of a plan and talk about the realities of school holidays, because I guess if you're working from home during school holidays, your availability is going to be different because you're essentially working 2 jobs. And, you know, they'll probably do you're the worst, most cringe parent in the world face if you try and have a family meeting about school holidays. But you know, at least kind of saying, hey, we'll probably get on each other's nerves a bit. We're all going to be in the house together. Is there anything you're really keen to do? I'm going to be working these days, or there'll be some downtime where you have to chill out. But hey, boredom's good. It enhances creativity. I think a lot of parents think they need to be like a full-time holiday camp coordinator of activities during school holidays. But in actual fact, a bit of what I call benign neglect can be quite useful, where you intentionally step back, give your kids kind of a little bit of space. You know, if they go, oh, we're really bored, we're going to do baking, don't go, I need to be the helicopter kind of monitoring every ingredient and warning of all the dangers. So I certainly kind of practiced a bit of benign neglect with my teenagers in the holidays, and they learnt to do their laundry. They might have flooded the laundry, but they still learnt the skills, and you know, may have set off the smoke detectors, but they learnt to bake some muffins. So yeah,
they turned out okay.
Kind of set. Yeah, exactly, and very useful skills of knowing how to turn off a smoke alarm when you are a young person out flatting. So, you know, a bit of benign neglect allows your kids to develop skills.
Jo, I guess also you talk about having a family meeting and actually coming up with some ideas, because I guess one of the frustrating things, not just sharing the same space necessarily or having to feel like you're doing 2 jobs as a parent, but also that by the time they're teenagers, because they have a bit more independence, it's I want to go to the movies or I want to hang out with my friends, and it's going off to the mall, and it's money, right? Like it's also the cost of school holidays outside of regular activities.
Oh, absolutely. I guess 2 things. One is teenagers are often quite motivated by money. Certainly, my son did 8-hour shifts at our lifestyle block gardening to, you know, earn money, and the fact that there was kind of a nice hourly rate there highly motivated him, and it was cheaper than a gardener. And secondly, also, there's a lot of free activities that are a lot of fun, and the kids might kind of eye roll if you say, right, we're all off family trip to the beach. But once they're there, you know, a bit of boredom allows them to kind of walk around, maybe have a chat to you, maybe kind of actually chill out in nature and bring down their stress levels. So I think really important to kind of, for parents not to think they need to be the bank of mum and dad, just forking out massive amounts of money to keep them entertained, because we get in that trap if the kids are kind of whining and we're trying to avoid World War III by kind of sending them off to the movies. But if you can kind of do, yeah, cool, there'll be money for the movies once you've weeded that garden bed. You you can actually get your gardening done as well as kids happy at the movies. So,
Jo, you sound like you've got some good ideas, but at the start of this interview you said you were a C+ parent. What do you wish you'd got different, or what would be your advice to parents now you've written the book and you've talked about it a bit?
I'd probably give myself a solid B.
Okay, well,
my
that's
kids,
better.
I think, would have done the C. They might have given me the occasional A when things fell into place, but some definite Fs. And I think probably my biggest reflection is sort of looking back and thinking that grumpy, irritable teenagers aren't necessarily just a phase. Sometimes it means there's something going on for them that they're struggling with. And so rather than going, oh, you're just a complete nightmare, you're so grumpy and not doing what you're told, to go, wonder what's going on for you. So it's just being sensitive to that, because I think we tend to kind of tell our kids off if they're grumpy and irritable rather than going, maybe this is a red flag that they're struggling. So it's a little bit kind of being sensitive to that, and also just trying to leave your helicopter on the helipad, because I think most parents, and I know myself, when I got anxious about things, I'd start kind of hovering and sending down rescue ropes and doing the Spanish Inquisition. I remember my son saying each day I was allowed one question and one follow-up question, and anything more was annoying. So, trying to kind of minimise that interrogation, and those TED Talks talk about kind of doing drop and run comments where you just sow a seed and then walk away before you're told you're wrong. So there's ways to be less annoying for your teenagers and have a relationship that works
less
a bit more smoothly.
Annoying for both of you. Tips for surviving the school holidays. Jo Prendergast, thank you very much for your time this morning.
Yeah, lovely to talk to you.
I like that. I like that her teen son said to her, one question, one follow-up, and that's it.
I love that.
Or he said, and then you're annoying.
Then you're annoyed. But that's okay. At least you know you've got that option.
Teenagers, they'll tell it like it is.
Are you going to do less helicoptering now?
Absolutely not. They're not teenagers, they're under 5 and they need to be supervised. Yeah, benign neglect, I might struggle with that.
That was great advice, but stay with us. Your 8:30 news, sport and weather. Plus, we will get to more of your feedback. We'll see you shortly.